Okay, let me see. Cape Town. Ish, I wish I was in Cape Town. Nelspruit, Joburg. I'm in Joburg. Durban, Cape Town, Ballito, Durban. Okay, a lot of Durban, a lot of Cape Town and Durban. What's happening? What's happening? Some Johannesburg, Cape Town, Pretoria, Joburg, Cape Town. Worcester, what's up? Port Elizabeth, Johannesburg. So Cape Town and Durban are kind of winning right now. Gauteng, West Rand. West Rand is, I'll say it's Joburg. Kuruman, interesting. PE, Balito, Limpopos. But why Limpopos? Which Limpopos? Drummond. How do you say that in Cape Town? Ah, sorry, in KZN. Pretoria, KZN. All right, so we've got a lot of people basically in Joburg and Cape Town and Durban dominating. I'd say it's between Durban and Durban and Cape Town. Not sure who the winner might be. And then my second question to you guys is, which qualification are you interested in? Have you already done your research? Do you know what you want in life? Marketing, BCom. So for the BCom people, you will need to decide which BCom. So it'll be very interesting to see which one. So the interesting part is that in the first year, you are able to do a general BCom degree. And then as you progress into second year, you're then able to start specialization. So higher certificate. Somebody said higher certificate in operations and logistics. I see that. BCom, logistics, BCom. And by the way, the School of Management is the biggest school in all of Varsity College. So you guys are definitely in the right school. Logistics, BCom marketing, BCom. Yes, PG DIP. Okay, we've got a postgrad student. Awesome. Business administration. Yay. I love that. See me. Welcome. Because that's actually one of our new qualifications. It's going to be very interesting. It's sort of like a mini master's and MBA. So it's a BBA, I guess. Business management, higher certificate in business practices and principles, strategy. So that's strategic management. Supply chain, because yes, this is awesome. Management, another PG student. Supply chain, finance, postgraduate management. Yeah, that's a PG dip, another PG dip. So yeah, I love the fact that we've got a wide variety of students here. Like you can see entrepreneurship. Yay, that's my one. That's the one that I'm actually leading, well, amongst the others. All right, guys, this is so interesting. I love the fact that it's a wide variety of people. So far, we are on 55 participants. I'm going to wait 1 more minute and then we can start. All right, I see nobody else is joining. We're at 55 participants, which is all good for me. So our agenda today, what we're basically going to be doing is doing the overview of all the qualifications that we've got in the School of Management. The School of Management is run by myself, Tseho Aista, as well as my colleague Tammy Farmak, who will be joining us in a small bit. We are the program managers for the qualifications. And if you ever have any problems and you need us for anything, we are there to basically support you as students. Our job as program managers is to basically ensure that your career in the Varsity College, your Varsity College Online Center is successful, and your career is basically your schooling career. So whether it may be 1 year up to 4 years, that's what we are here for. So we're going to do an overview of the qualifications, and then we're going to also talk about maybe the minimum entry requirements, as well as then the curriculum. So each qualification has particular modules that you guys will be doing, and then the credits and articulation. What articulation basically means is where you can go with the qualification that you have. For instance, if you want to do a higher certificate, and you obtain your higher certificate, what then are the options that you have? So articulation is, after the higher certificate, perhaps you can do a BCom degree. And if, let's say, you're doing a BCom degree, articulation would be then maybe doing another BCom degree, or then going higher to the postgrad qualifications. And hence, we've got people who are interested in doing higher certificates. We've got people that are interested in doing BCom degrees, as well as postgraduate students. Those are all the three categories of qualifications that we have in the School of Management. And then we're also going to shortly highlight the career options. So with regards to the higher certificates, we've got 3 higher certificates that we offer at the Varsity College Online Center. We've got the higher certificate in business principles and practice. We've got the higher certificate in human resource practices, as well as then the higher certificate in logistics and supply chain management. So the higher certificate in business principles and practices, this is more of a general higher certificate, much like, a BCom general. A higher certificate in business principles is a general certificate that gives students a broad range of essential business skills, including communication, business administration, accounting, and project administration. So it's a good certificate that you need to have if you want to enter the working world. However, it is also used as a bridging course, and that's what's so amazing about it. Sometimes life doesn't work out as you planned, and maybe you start stressing during your matric examinations and you don't do so well, and maybe you wanted to do a BCom degree. If you do not qualify to do a BCom degree, a higher certificate is the perfect qualification that you can do in order for you to then be able to qualify for a BCom degree. So this qualification has modules such as, and you will see the modules that are highlighted in blue there: digital and academic literacies, as well as quantitative thinking. Those are the 2 standard modules across the 3 higher certificates. However, because this is the higher certificate in business practices and principles, then you would be also mastering business management and administration, A, as well as B, as well as then project management and administration. And you will see that the module that is highlighted in green, that's work integrated learning. For all the higher certificates, for all the BCom degrees, we've got a module that is called work integrated learning. What work integrated learning is, basically, it's an amalgamation of all the modules that you'll be doing. So like I said, you'll be doing digital literacy, you'll be doing business management, project management. So in work integrated learning, what that is, a simulation or an analysis of business. So in this module, it requires students to provide evidence of their ability to apply the business skills that you have then learned in your different modules. So it's kind of like all the modules that you've learned coming together as one, and you then proving that you have learned something and that you are equipped to go into the world of work. And then what career options do you have? If you're not going to articulate into a BCom degree, you can already go into the working world, and you'd be then maybe be able to be hired as an admin clerk, any entry-level jobs, project administrator, office administrator, an assistant to a project manager, an executive assistant, a secretary, receptionist, etc. Then the second higher certificate that we've got is in human resource practices. So HR, if you are passionate about HR, this higher certificate is especially for you. Again, what's nice about this higher certificate is that not only if you're doing it, you can also then qualify to go into any BCom degree. So, well, let me not say any BCom degree. It will be the BCom or the BCom entrepreneurship, as well as the Bachelor of Business Administration. So if you love HR, again, the modules that you'll be covering include digital and academic literacies, as well as quantitative thinking. Like I said, those are the two standard modules. But you'll see here for HR, you'll be doing then office management, business management, yes. However, you'll then also be specializing in HR modules such as payroll and administration, human resource management, as well as industrial relations. And you see that at the bottom, that work integrated learning component is always there. So in this particular one for the HR module, you'll be given a case study to identify aspects of the human resource and payment functions. And then you are able to then apply what you have learned through the different modules, bringing them together to then create your analysis. What career options do you have? Again, if you're not going to articulate into the BCom degrees, you can work as an HR practitioner, an administrator, a payroll administrator, recruitment consultant, or an office administrator. Then we've also got the higher certificate in logistics and supply chain management. So with the logistics and supply chain management, it is also very specifically for the students who are interested in logistics and supply chain. If you are into road transportation or any kind of logistics, this is the perfect one for you. So this is for students who've got very specific, if you pay attention to detail and you're into numbers and you are good at bringing about order and administration, this one is definitely for you. Again, you can with this qualification, you can also then articulate into the BCom degrees, the BCom entrepreneurship, as well as then the business, the Bachelor of Business Administration. And we've also then got the new Business of Business Bachelor Administration in Logistics and Supply Chain Management. So again, if you do not qualify for the BCom, these three higher certificates, they are perfect for students that want to then articulate into the BCom degrees. Again, the modules that you'll be covering here include digital and academic literacies. And what's interesting here is that we've got financial management for non-financial managers. So please don't worry, it's not a high-level financial management module. And then business management, which is standard throughout all the modules because, it is important for you to know how a business is run. However, because this is the logistics and supply chain higher certificate, you will then also be specializing in those particular modules. So you see there at the bottom, we've got logistics and supply chain management, 1A, and then we've also got it in 1B. And if you see 1A is an introduction to business, to supply chain management, whereas in 1B, you are then specializing in purchase management. And then the two other components would be operations management and transport economics. And those are also specific to the logistics qualification. And then again, the work integrated component in this instance, it'll be teaching you about, you would then be able to bring your analysis of all the modules that you've learned, everything that you've learned, bringing it together and simulating a logistics and supply chain business. Career options, anything in logistics. You can be a dispatcher, you can be a logistics and transport controller, an operations administrator, logistics coordinator, purchasing officer. That's if you do not want to articulate into our BCom degrees. And then what's interesting about our higher certificates, it's that they are spread out over 18 months. However, and that's what 1.5 years, whereas you can also then do them in a 12-month option. So you can do them in 1 year. If you do them over 18 months, that means that you will be taking 4 modules per semester and then 2 in the third. So 4 modules for 2 semesters and then 2 modules in the last semester. And then if you're taking them over 12 months, that means you'll be doing no, sorry, that's 3, 3, and 2. And then if you're doing it over 12 months, you'll then be doing 4 modules per semester. Again, this is the distance space because we are the Varsity College Online Center, and it's 8 modules per higher certificate, including the work integrated learning module. Entry requirements, the basic is English at 30%. And then that articulation that I was talking about. So in other words, the horizontal articulation is basically the higher certificates are all equivalent. They've all got the same NFQ, what is it? Yeah, NFQ level, and they are all equal to each other. So you can do one and do another and do another. That's not a problem. However, because we always want to progress in life, the vertical articulation is the better one, whereas then you move then into the BCom degree. And then we've also got a BCom entrepreneurship, the Bachelor of Business Administration, and the Bachelor of Administration in Logistics and Supply Chain Management. In terms of the program credits, what is lovely about doing the higher certificate with us is that if you articulate into the BCom degree, there are one or two modules for which you can get credits into the BCom degree. So maybe because you guys saw the business administration there, the business management modules. So if you did both the business management modules, you can then maybe qualify to get into, or you get credits for the business management one first year level module. So that means you don't have to do it again. If you have any questions regarding the higher certificates, can you please put them in the chat? I will not be stopping for any questions. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. Once I'm done presenting, I'm going to go through all the questions. And there's also somebody already who's going through the questions and answering them if need be. Then we've also got then in the BCom space, we've got the Bachelor of Entrepreneurship. This degree is specifically for students who are entrepreneurially minded. And this does not necessarily mean that you only want to own your own business. We've got, yes, if you want to own your own business, this is perfect for you. And in fact, for distance students, because some of our students, in fact, if not a lot, most of our students are already working. So you're working, you're married, you've got children, etc., and you're also studying. And for those who normally pursue the business, the Bachelor of Entrepreneurship, is the students who've already got businesses. However, it does not necessarily mean it's for only students that have businesses. There is what they call corporate entrepreneurship. Corporate entrepreneurs are people that work in companies that always kind of, launch other companies within the company. If I can make an example of what I'm talking about, the best is, example is Discovery. We know that Discovery was what was it? It's a medical aid scheme, right? But then now Discovery has got so many branches. They've got life insurance, they've got car insurance, and now they've not recently, but they've also got a Discovery Bank. What does that mean? Corporate entrepreneurship means it's a company that already exists, creating yet another company. So if you work for Discovery, you can imagine you're already entrepreneurially minded because you're asking yourself, what other new business can we then start in our company? So this qualification is perfect for that. And then the qualification is spread over 3 years if you're doing it full time. And then if you're doing it, the normal duration for typical online students would be over 4 years. The distance, it's obviously conducted over the distance mode online, and there are 24 modules that you need to take. And in terms of the career options, again, like I've mentioned, you can be an entrepreneur or a small business manager, and a corporate entrepreneur, which is what I've mentioned, if you work for a corporation that is entrepreneurially minded. And then you can be also a new business development developer or a business consultant. And then if you'll see that the modules that they take, it's, yes, business management modules, because in every of, and we are the School of Management, because we're trying to raise managers here, and not just managers but owners as well. So business management is always one of those modules that we cover. Business management, accounting, economics, as well as applied communication techniques. These are standard over first year module, over any first year. And then you will see then what would be unique about the Bachelor of Entrepreneurship is the entrepreneurship modules that you will be taking all the way from first year all the way to third year. And you will see this then, if you are doing it over 3 years, that would be what we call full time. You'll be taking 4 modules per semester. Whereas if you do it over 4 years, you will then be taking 3 years per semester. Please be like be cognizant of what you want. If you are working and studying at the same time, rather than trying to force things and trying to complete in 3 years, because obviously, we want to finish as quick as possible, but be aware of your life situation. Take your personal situation into mind. And if you've got, a heavy personal and professional life that is also demanding from you, then maybe try to do it over 4 years. Pace yourself so that you can pass accordingly. The career options I've already discussed, so I will skip that. The next qualification is the Bachelor of Business Administration. I think it was Simi, if I'm not mistaken, who said they wanted to do the Bachelor of Business Administration. This is one of our new qualifications that is starting out in 2024. This Bachelor of Business Administration is also again aimed at students who are business minded and are interested in a career in management and administration. However, what is more interesting about this qualification is that for HR practitioners, if you want to be an HR practitioner, then this qualification is for you, because you will see that in the modules that we cover, human resource management is covered from first year all the way until fourth year. So with this qualification, because it is still new, it is only offered over 4 years. So you cannot, decide, I want to do it full time and I want to do it in 3 years. Because we are only launching it now, it is standard that you do it over 4 years. However, it's a very exciting one, because then imagine if you did the higher certificate in high in HR, then it means you can qualify for or articulate into this particular degree if you want to specialize in HR. And as you see there, year 3, you're still doing human resource management, as well as then in year 4. And then in terms of the articulation options for any of the higher um, certificates that we have, you qualify to continue with the BBA. What career opportunities are there for this qualification? You can be a marketing manager, a sales manager, operations business consultant, a market research analyst, or a human resource specialist. Again, very much in the business field, very much in the management field. So if you are interested in working in the corporate world, this qualification is definitely for you. And then the last one that I'm going to be discussing is the Bachelor of Business Administration in Logistics and Supply Chain Management. This one, again, specific to logistics. So if you did a higher certificate in logistics, you can then articulate into this qualification. Again, for those of you who want to be, the owners of trucks, the owners of ships, and all sorts of transportation and logistics, this one is for you. The BBS is you know, aimed at those people who are analytical, practical thinkers. You are organized and you love to plan. You can imagine if you are, for instance, running a warehouse. If you are running a warehouse, you need to know what kind of stock you've got. Where is the stock? How much is coming in? How much is going out? So you need to be very, very woke. And if you are, this qualification is for you. And what's unique about it then is that, much like with the BBA, which is the Bachelor of Business Administration, this one is specifically for logistics. So again, you will be covering logistics and supply chain management all the way from year 1 until year 4. And you will see the other modules that are still there: business management and accounting, like you did in the other qualifications, as well as economics and financial management. But then these ones, the more you progress into the later years, the more that you then start specifically then specializing in those modules. Again, this degree is new for 2024 and also only available for participation in the 4-year modules. In the 4-year cycle. So again, you cannot say I want to do this qualification over 3 years, because we are only launching it in 2024 and it is structured in a 4-year structure. So again, if you're going to study it from next year, just know that you will be doing it over 4 years. Again, what are the articulation options? For this one, you need to have done either the higher certificate in business principles and practices or the logistics and supply chain management. Remember, we've got the other third higher certificate, which is the HHR, which is the human resources. So if you did human resources, unfortunately, you will not be able to articulate into the logistics and supply chain Bachelor of Business Administration. Career options, anything in logistics. So you can be a logistics professional, supply chain management practitioner, transport and logistics manager, a project manager, and more interesting for me, a customer relations manager. I'm so excited about these and I cannot wait for them. Tammy, are you in the room and are you able to take over from here?
I am. I've been listening intently. Are you going to continue sharing and then just flick along the slides for me? Because I don't think I've got control. Or do you want me to share?
I can do that for you, or do you want to share? You can share if you want.
No,
Because
I'm happy for you to do that. I will share my video and then
you know
you
what?
could just
I
flick
think
the
you
slides.
continue. I think let me stop sharing and then you
Okay.
share so that I can go to the questions. How's that?
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Right. Am I good?
I'll confirm now. No, can't
Okay.
see your screen. I see you.
All right. Let me try that again. Maybe when I stopped. There we go. I'm hoping it should be coming up shortly.
Yes.
Right.
I can see your screen now.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Right. I'm just going to get it so that it can actually show me. Sorry, everyone. Just give me 1 second. It did this just now when it's showing you the slides, but it means I have to keep looking over there, but that's fine because I know what's on these slides. So thank you, Tsecho. Hi to everybody. And I am Tsecho's partner in crime. We run the School of Management together because we think we are the most important school, or we know we are.
We know
So
we are.
welcome tonight. Yeah. So, and as you know, Tsecho has shared with you the higher certificates and two of the degrees, two of the undergrad programs that we have. I'm going to be sharing the BCom undergrad, and then I'm going to be chatting a little bit about the postgrad. So if you are here for the postgrads, thank you for your patience. But we'll get through the BCom and then we'll move on. And I think it's also quite nice for the people who are looking at undergrads to see what's the next step. I know there were a couple of questions coming up in the chat about postgrad studies. So nice for everyone to see what we've got, where we're going. And then what I will do at the end as well is we'll have a quick chat about, there were questions coming up about accreditation and how our qualifications are recognized, etc. So we'll address a couple of those questions because those are pretty important. They're good questions to have around whether your degree is actually worth it or not. Right, so the BCom degree that we offer is a nice broad business degree, and I think probably the appeal of the Bachelor of Commerce is this diversity. And then there are 4 core disciplines that you would then need to choose from. So strategic management, marketing management, financial, and then finance and accounting as well. And I'm going to chat through some of those options. And obviously there is time to still make those choices. And you can see there it says you make the choices after your first year of studies. So just looking at the program, again, I think most people, you know what the BCom is about. It's really just about getting a good solid foundation of what do I need to know in the business world? What do I need to know to be tackling? So it stretches across industry, it stretches across roles. Obviously, depending on your core discipline, you might have a particular role in mind. But I think that is the joy of the BCom is its diversity. I'm going into the business environment. I want to be part of, typically, I want to be part of management. That's kind of the end goal, and that's the BCom. So you're getting that balance of the knowledge as well as the practical skills. Looking at the curriculum plan, so I'm not going to take you through every single module, but I wanted to show you what there was. And if you have a look on the right-hand side, you will see there's the core disciplines. So on the right-hand side, you can see the little tick boxes of which modules are done according to which core discipline. And what is really nice is in your first year, all of the modules are common. So every student in their first year of their studies will complete the same modules. Okay. And then as you move into second year, and remember, this is going to also be very dependent on if you are taking that 3-year structure or you are extending it slightly. So the BCom has been in the online space for a while. So we do offer the ability, we do offer students the ability to complete it in 3 years. So we offer the modules what we call out of sync. We allow students to join us in the second half of the year. So there's a bit of flexibility, but it is because it is quite an established program. So I think, Tech, I'm not sure whether that came up in yours, but like the BBA, it's new. There's a little less flexibility, but definitely worth it if that's the route you're going. So the BCom, you can do in different time frames. And again, I know Teko mentioned it to you, you really should be very sort of conscious of when I'm choosing the number of modules I'm going to take, whether I'm doing a 3-year or 4-year plan, or maybe a little bit longer, what are the constraints on you as a student? Are you working? Do you have other commitments? And don't overload yourself. We always say to our students, we would rather you succeed slowly than fail fast. Okay. We'll advise you, we'll try and give you some guidance, but at the end of the day, you're going to make that decision. And then you've got to make sure you are committing enough time. Okay, so looking at those modules, you'll see some of the prerequisites and co-requisites so that you'll become more familiar with, but it basically means that if a module has a prerequisite, so in order to do accounting 1B, I need to have completed accounting 1A. And those are really the only restrictions in terms of which modules I should take and when I should take them. When we start moving into the second, or should we say the second year of modules, whether you're doing it in your second year or later, it will depend on your structure. You can see they start to become a little bit more specialized. Maybe take a look at the slide now, have a look, see the different modules, because I sometimes think if you're struggling to make a decision between different core disciplines or different programs, it can be quite useful to have a look and say, well, do these modules appeal to me? Do I like the sound of project management, or does digital marketing really appeal to me? And those might be the things that will sort of tip one core discipline in favor of the other. So you can see again, the top 3, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 modules here in the second year structure that are common across all of them. So there's a little bit of flexibility in terms of, I've got to the end of my first year, still I'm not 100% certain of which core discipline I need to take, and we can go from there. Okay, sorry, I just have lost. Okay, Teko, I think I've lost screen share. Can you just let me know? Is it there?
You said yes, your name.
We can't see.
Okay. Yeah, can you see I've gone all dark? So I'm going to stop my video because we have lost power, but it's okay because we have backup.
Awesome.
So that's all good. So I'm just going to reshare my slides. All right, let me just get them again. Everyone just
no problem. We're
find them
again.
Thank you. Oh, you see, we're real South Africans. There comes the inverter. Everything's getting switched back on again.
And this is typical of being online. This is what we have to work
Yes,
with.
yes, these are the
And
challenges, and
guys,
these are the challenges that students will
yes,
deal
I
with
was about to
too.
raise that. Yeah, so be mindful of load shedding when you enroll for online. Life still has to move on, whether you've got power or you don't.
All right, I think I'm sharing my entire screen now,
You
so
really
you'll just
are.
have to bear in mind there. Okay,
Be
has
good.
it got all sorts of funny things all over it though? That's the problem. Just
No.
move that out the way,
Oh,
and I'll
those
move that out the
annotations.
way. Are we good?
Mm,
Sorry, everybody. Are we back?
we're back.
Second, are we all good?
We
Okay,
good.
excellent. All right, so let's just go to where we needed to be. There we go. See, we are such resilient South Africans. Right, so there are our modules again. Had a chance to have a look at them. Then in your third year, you can see again a couple of modules that are similar. Your research modules are common across all of them. It's really important module to have. There's introduction to research and research practice. And then I know Sarah chatted to you earlier on about the work integrated learning module. So this, our students end up loving it. It is a module that we get you to take at the very end of the program because it really brings together all of the different theoretical modules, and you get an opportunity to put those into practice. And you are set a task, and you've got to come up with strategy, and you've got to redesign strategy for a company, and then present on it. And we're busy going through those presentations at the moment. It's absolutely one of the highlights of my year is listening to our students' work integrated learning presentations. But just such a nice opportunity for you as students to be using all of this knowledge in a practical way. Okay, so those are your 4 core disciplines. You can see the different modules. There are some of the career opportunities across the core disciplines. And maybe I'll just give you a moment to have a look at them. You can sort of start to see where your interests align. Obviously, the strategic management, quite broad with project management, industrial relations, things like that. The marketing, obviously very specifically focused on marketing. You take marketing all the way through to the third year. And then your finance and accounting and financial management, really the biggest distinction between those two is that the financial management, you will take business management to third year, whereas the finance and accounting, you will take accounting to third year. Okay, so in place of the business management. What starts to become important here as well is, obviously, if you are thinking about postgrad studies, you will start to see an alignment between which core discipline you would go for and then which postgrad you might be interested in. Okay, articulation. I always find the horizontal articulation interesting because if I've done one degree, am I going to do another degree? But you could. A lot of people do it, or some people do it. And then obviously, once you've completed your undergrad, you can go vertically. You can get into a postgraduate diploma, or you could do an honors. And again, remember there are entrance requirements, so you would need to fit in. I, for example, went from a BCom. I've then articulated vertically into the education. So there's all sorts of opportunities out there. Right, I'm going to chat now about some of our postgrad programs. I think maybe it would be useful for all students to sort of listen to this, but if you've got some questions and you want to keep popping them into the chat, and then we can address those. I think what I really wanted to address were those questions around accreditation. And maybe I will just say, I think before I go into the postgrad, because it is relevant to everybody, we are accredited in the exact same way as all of your public tertiaries. And you'll see I'm very, very, very particular about the way that I'm terming that. So in South Africa, the only tertiary institution that is allowed to call itself a university is a public institution. So it's really just a formality. We have challenged it. There are different things in progress, but we are a tertiary higher education institution just as your public university, Stellenbosch, UCT, WITS. We are the same as them in terms of the type of education we provide. We all provide higher education, okay? We are all measured and accredited against the exact same criteria. Okay, so what I would maybe encourage you to do as well is go onto the IIE's website. Seko, I'm not sure if you could pop that site in there. Or it's www.iie, but now I can't remember if it's AC or co.za, but it's the Independent Institute of Education. And just go and have a look at some of the information that they have posted there, because that's the body that sits underneath all of our programs. And it is an important thing for you to understand. If this is where you're going to study, you need to understand the worth of this qualification. Yeah, as you were asking as well, if you finished a qualification with us and you can go and do a postgrad, absolutely, you can. I did a postgrad diploma with the IIE, and then I've moved on to do a master's with the University of Johannesburg. And so my postgraduate diploma gave me entry into a master's program at University of Johannesburg. So maybe that's a nice way of sort of, it is possible. But go and have a look there. So I'm hoping that has answered some of the questions around that. Right, let's have a look at our postgrad programs then. Try and get these slides to move along for me. We have 3 that are specific to the School of Management. And I'm going to go through those 3, but I just thought it might be worth mentioning as well, specifically for those of you who are interested in the financial management or the finance and accounting core disciplines. We do also offer the postgraduate diploma in accounting, which can articulate you into the professional qualification of CA. We also offer the postgraduate diploma in finance and accounting, and that will articulate you into a professional qualification with CIMA. So both of those are professional qualifications. I think a lot of people are very familiar with the CA. And then the other one, which has become increasingly popular, increasingly valuable, is the CGMA. And that you can do. So both the CGMA, sorry, this might be getting a bit confusing, but the postgraduate diploma in finance and accounting is for students who have done a BCom and have done a financial management or finance and accounting core discipline. It's just an exciting new postgrad that we're offering, if that's your interest. But let's focus now on the School of Management one. So we've got our postgraduate diploma in management. We have run this postgraduate this year, our first online cohort. The majority of the students have done it, have chosen to do this postgraduate diploma over 2 years. But we've got about 7 students that are due to graduate and that have done it in the 1 year. So it is possible. I think it has been tough, but really just such a nice postgrad to have. Okay, so let's have a look. What it specifically aims at. It really is about taking your management knowledge, your business knowledge to the next level. Okay, so a much deeper understanding of management. So some of the people that would apply for the postgrad, you might already be industry, you completed your degree a few years ago, and you're wanting to just take your qualification and your knowledge to the next level. So a much deeper understanding of management. Looking at the modules again might give you an idea. You can see the 5 compulsory modules up the top there. Okay, so a nice broad range of modules. You will see that research methodology comes up in each one of our postgrads. Okay, and then for the postgrad in management, what's unique about this is that you get to select one elective. So those 5 modules, supply chain, etc., down the bottom there, you would pick one of those, and that's your area of interest. So for the students doing this program over 2 years, you would do your research module and your elective in your second year. So in your first year, you would take 4 of the compulsory modules. And then in your second year, you would do research methodology and your elective. Okay. Right. Just very quickly, I'm not going to go through all of these, but you can see some of the exit level outcomes, what we're really trying to achieve here, more innovative management, just, a better understanding of finance and how to use data. And that's what we're looking for in the PGDM. Okay. some of the career options. I do love that they've included lecturer in there. Hey. Okay, but really just looking at extending yourself in terms of management. Then we've got 2 new programs that are coming into the online space, and we're very excited about this. So this is the postgraduate diploma in corporate governance. So obviously specifically for people who have an interest in corporate governance. So looking very in depth at policy, at the challenges around policy and strategy and governance. So governance and in business, looking at internal corporate governance, looking at, you'll see we're going to talk just now about the King report, and what are all these issues around an organization's governance. Okay, so understanding corporate governance, risk and stakeholder management, understanding the King report and the framework, and how do we comply with the King report, right? These modules, so they are a no elective. So obviously the management postgrad is nice and broad. It's about management. When we get to this one, it's very much about corporate governance. So those modules are set. And you can see, and again, you get that idea of what this postgrad is really about by looking at the modules: corporate governance, law, ethics, financial reporting, auditing, risk management. Okay. And again, the research methodology coming in there. Right, some of the exit level outcomes there. You can see the sort of the terms that are coming up: risk and stakeholder management, making ethical decisions, understanding the King report, looking at the function of an audit committee. Okay, career options here, I think probably a nice, they've picked up some nice ones there: risk advisor, internal control auditor, compliance managers, company secretary. So really some nice sort of options once you've completed this qualification and sort of sending yourself up that corporate ladder. And then we come to the postgraduate diploma in digital business. So this is the third of our specific School of Management postgrads, okay? And I think it is sort of, if we look, they're saying they're aiming at marketing or digital marketing or branding students, but it really is, it's not specific to marketing. It is really about the digitalization of business. So how are we harnessing technology to take our business to the next level? Okay, so there it says there: to understand, assess, and select appropriate business technologies for growth and effectiveness in all different areas of the business. Okay, so yes, there is you can see there the focus on accessing new markets, but also your business processes. How are we using technology and digital capital to transform our business and to take it to the next level? Okay, so theoretical and practical knowledge. I think most of that we've spoken about. I just like the last bullet point: lead an organization to accept and implement digital transformation. So there are the modules. Okay, again, so yes, there is one on digital marketing, which is great, but it's not the overriding idea of this. So it is really nice for a student. It's probably of all of the postgrads, if you were a BCom with a marketing core discipline, this would probably be the postgrad I would encourage a student to take. And that's what I said just now, you know, thinking of whether, have I done a Bachelor of Entrepreneurship, or have I done a Bachelor of Business Administration, or a Bachelor of Commerce? Probably going to be, there might be a natural transition to one of these postgrads here. Okay, exit level outcomes again. I think for me, what was quite nice is if you have a look at point 2, applying regulatory rules that impact digital business. So that's quite an interesting one. Looking at our business processes. So number 3 there was analyze business processes. So really looking into our business and saying, what are we doing now and how can we use technology to improve what we're doing? Okay. Right, some of the career options there: digital business analyst, business development consultant. Yeah, again, quite a few of the sales and the marketing, so you can see why that would be my natural progression for a marketing student. Okay, but just going back here, really is about analysis, looking at a business and saying, what are we doing now and how are we going to improve on it? Right. Just very briefly, the entry requirements for these 3 postgrads, okay, is an appropriate bachelor's degree. So obviously, if you are interested in any one of the School of Management undergrads, those would get you into the postgrad, okay? An appropriate advanced diploma. So you maybe if you have done an advanced diploma in management or something like that, or business leadership, you should get entry into the postgrad as well, okay? But yeah, and an equivalent level 7 qualification, because obviously all of the postgrads are on an NQF level 8, okay? Horizontal articulation, I think Tshepo spoke about that. So I'm wanting to do something else at the same level, okay? And I think what's pertinent there is maybe to chat very briefly about the honors. We're not at this stage offering the BCom honors in the online space. I am hopeful that it is coming quite soon. And if you guys are here for undergrad, I'm sure by the time you've moved through, we will have the honors available in the online space. The honors really, the distinction between a postgraduate diploma and an honors. So if a student said to me, shall I do a postgraduate diploma in management or a BCom honors? It really is, they are the exact same NQF level. They have a different focus. So the honors has a more academic focus, with probably the most predominant difference would be that the honors has there's more weighting on your research. So your research modules are year long, and they are definitely, they require a lot more depth and detail. Your postgraduate diploma honors, it's a 1 semester, and it's not as intense. So I would sort of say the honors has a more academic focus, and the postgraduates are really someone looking at elevating their game in business. I'm in business, I'm in industry, I'm wanting to move up, I'm wanting to get better knowledge. Okay. And then once you've completed your postgrad, you could go on to any master's program, obviously depending on which master's you're wanting to do. But like I've said to you guys, I've flipped from commerce to education. So anything is possible. Right. So I am still sitting in the dark, yes. I won't be turning on my video, but we are at question time. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to stop sharing because we don't need to see the question slide, but then at least it will give me the opportunity to see the chat box. At least they've had your lovely face to look at. Right. Oh, there we go, David. David has told us our Bachelor of Commerce honors received distant accreditation today, will launch in 2025. David, I didn't know you were in here, and then I was speaking and going, come on, we need this. So thank you for sharing that bit of information to everybody. Yes, yes, we are celebrating. So maybe if I can just see, I'm going to scroll up in the chat box and see if there is anything that hasn't been covered, but if you've got any other questions, you're welcome to also pop on your mic and ask us questions. I see, Entley, your question has been answered. Yes, project management, that would be the strategic one. That's great. To be honest, it's a very, very popular core discipline. Here we go. What else has come up here? It looks like the team has been on it and answered all the questions. Okay, are you able to structure the qualification in over 3 or 4 years? For the Bachelor of Commerce, I think I answered that, yes. Okay, and I would like to complete the entirety, as if I would continue it at Cape Town, but online. Yes, so you can move between the
Tammy,
two.
sorry, just want to
Yes.
say we've answered all of the questions. There's just
Okay,
the last
awesome.
question. The last question we haven't answered.
Okay, well, someone who works full-time with exams. Okay, so
As well as
Nicole,
how demanding, sorry, there's one that says how
yeah,
demanding is the PG dip over 1 year. I think it depends
okay,
on your life's, what
mm,
other priorities you have. If you're working and you've got a family that you need to take care of, you need to be cognizant of that, like I said in the in the beginning of my presentation. So you yourself would if you're doing it full time, it's going to be very, very demanding. So if you've got other priorities, maybe then split it over 18 months, I would say.
Yeah, we can't, not 18 months, it's 12 months or 24
Is
months
it
at the
12 or
moment for
24?
the
Oh, so it's
yeah,
only
for the
1 year or
PG.
2 years. Okay.
Yeah, 1 year or 2 years. So yeah, exactly like you've said, it really does depend. And maybe if I can give you some context, the current cohort, the majority of them are doing it over 2 years. Like we said, we've got a small group that have done it over 1 years. Some of them have we've been looking at results recently. They're doing excellent work. They've worked really hard at it, and we will be able to share a little bit more information because we are planning on sort of having conversations with them, seeing how it went. But the majority of our students are doing it over 2 years.
We've got
Okay,
another question, Tammy. Are the exams conducted online for distance learning?
right. So this that's a difficult one. So that is changing. That is something it's an evolution for us. Currently, if I tell you about 2023, we have a wide mix. So depending on the module, we have a mix of what we call take-home exams, and we have written on campus summatives. We also have what we call portfolio of evidence. So depending on the module, but let's talk specifically about those written on campus. So for modules like accounting, taxation, um, the students are required to go either onto a campus or into an exam venue. So we do have students that are dotted around the world, and they would find an exam venue. Sometimes it's an embassy or a school, and they are able to go and write an exam there. So they don't have to come onto one of our campuses. Obviously, if you're situated in South Africa and you're sitting in Durban, you would then pick one of the campuses, and you would go and write your exam then. We are evolving, and we are looking into different options where we do assessments online and different proctoring tools, but it is a work in progress. So hopefully, as if you guys all decide to come on board and register, that you will, we hope, see that evolution in progress.
Another question, how much time does one need per module per week?
Oh.
That's a difficult question for
Yeah,
me.
I was going to say, you want to take that one.
Right. So they are what they call notational hours, right? So depending on the NQF level of the qualification in the module that you're taking, if I can use, for instance, a first year module, and if a first year module is uh, so okay, sorry, it depends on the notational hours. So notational hours is the number of credits that you get, and they are then worked out according to the hours that are needed for that. So you will find that notational hours can be something like 150 hours per module per semester. So you would have to then take one module, divide that 150 by however many weeks or days. However, it's kind of a subjective question because it depends also on how smart, or how do I say it? How hard or how smart you work. You will know yourself. You will, and for some modules, they will come a lot more easier than other modules. So you will find that for one module, you'll need to spend like 1 or 2 hours on the module per week, whereas maybe a more difficult subject may need more time from you. So the notational hours are really just the maximum amount of hours maybe for an average student, but I think that no student ever even goes into those notational hours. And then also, again, depending on your priorities, depending on how hard or how smart you work, and the other tools that you use in order for you to assist you, it can really differ. Again, take into consideration your life's priorities. That's what I would say. If you've got a family, if you've got if you're working full time, consider that, and then allow that to then dictate how you're going to spread out the qualification years. So whether you'll be doing it full time over, if it's a BCom degree, over 3 years, or if you're going to do it part time over 4 years. So I would really just rather focus on your lifestyle and how it's demanding you right now, and then allow that to dictate how you're going to structure your qualification.
I think that's perfect. I've put the notational answer in the chat there, but it really
Awesome.
is, yes, it really is exactly like you've said, dependent on your work ethic, your knowledge, the module as well. Some students will fly through one module and find another one particularly difficult. So
Yes. I'm trying to see. It looks like all the questions have been answered. There's a last one. Is there an option to have an in-person tutorial or meeting at a campus close to a student every now and then, or is everything 100% online only? Everything is 100% online only, but those very options that you're talking about, maybe not so much personal tutorial. How tutorials are structured is that we have tutorials, if it's a theory module, every bi-weekly, whereas if it's a numeracy module, maybe it once a week. So in that tutorial module, in the co-lab, we call them co-labs, which are basically classes that are presented online. So you would join online at a specific time in the week, and then in that tutorial you will have your online tutor who is available to take any of the questions that you've got. So personal tutorials, not so much. However, this discussion can be had in a collaboration, or what we call the collab. However, if you have more sensitive issues, maybe that you would like to discuss with your online tutor, all the online tutors are available on email. You can ask them as many questions as you want. They are going to answer all of them. And and remember, like I said, we as the program managers are there to support you guys as students. So if you feel like maybe you are, struggling a little bit, because everything being presented online can be a challenge. It can be a challenge, transitioning from working full-time or studying in school full-time, going into tertiary. So if you have challenges that are just not being met by your online tutor, we as your program managers are also available to assist you in any other way and bridge that gap for you. So yes, everything is done 100% online, hence we are the Varsity College Online Center. And then a question, will VC start offering master's programs in the future? Yes, Joel, that is exactly where we are headed. You will see, like with the postgraduate student qualifications that we have. Tammy, did we get 4 new ones for 2024? The postgrads?
we've got the 3 in School of Management and then the 2 in the School of Finance and Accounting, but the one is very, very closely related to us, that the
Yes.
postgrad in Finance and Accounting.
Yes, so that's exactly where we are headed.
So we are growing.
Yeah, so masters will definitely be
There
there
we
in
go.
the future. Oh, is
David's
David?
just said
Oh, yes.
currently in accreditation. David, you're working hard for us tonight. Thank you.
David is doing the Lord's work. And David is the head of campus. So he's the big boss. If he says anything, it's solid, it's gold.
We hold him to it.
True.
Yeah. Did you see? And I managed to, even in the middle of no power, I managed to find a little light so I could actually be here.
Oh, is your video on now?
Oh, my video's on.
Cool. Yeah, I don't
Right.
see any other questions that have not been answered. If you would like to unmute yourself and ask a question, please go ahead. If you feel like there's a question that was not properly answered and you still have more questions and you would like to unmute, please go ahead and do that. We will be still here, taking more questions. Tammy, do you want to wrap up for us?
I think it's as well as if anybody wanted to go and hear more about the wellness center or the sports. Remember that those breakout rooms were available, and I think just to remember that even if you are close to a campus, those are options available to you. Yeah. And then Caleb, you've got a question there. What time are the collabs? So we will typically run our collabs in the evening we do sort of 6 to 7, and then normally we have a little break, 7:30 to 8:30. So they're always sort of in that time slot. And then we try as much as possible to make sure there's no clashes and things like that between your different sessions.
So they're basically in the
In the
evening.
evenings.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the evening. And then normally we try and keep them Monday to Thursday.
Because
Nobody wants a
class on
collab on a
Friday.
Friday.
Everybody wants
Yeah,
to rest or party on a
yeah.
Friday.
I don't know if anybody has questions on the platform, just the support that's offered on the platform. I mentioned just now in response to a question there, something about our online tutors. I think it was the person who was asking about the person who was asking about personal sessions, one-on-one. And I think that the feedback that we get for a lot of our online tutors, they really, those are the people that you develop a very, very good relationship with. Our students have always, they'll email the online tutor, and they'll just get these responses. So they've developed a very, very unique ability to develop that relationship with their students, even though we are online. We sit in different places, but we manage to build these relationships with each other. So yeah,
and that's what's beautiful
and
about
there is Wade
online
as well. Yes.
I can't believe there's still 47 participants in this Zoom. I think
and I think
look.
we need to release them. I think we need to release them to go into the other breakout sessions, because we are done. What do you think, Tammy?
Yeah, we have covered all the programs, unless there's more questions.
Yeah, if you want to stay behind and have more questions for us, please do that. However, if you'd like to go to the student wellness and the sports breakout rooms, please go ahead and do that. We'll still hang around. Thank you so much for joining, guys. We're excited to meet you all.
Thank you. Yes.
Sorry, Tammy, there is one more question about the business module for BCom is going to have more in-person tests for the contact version of the degree. Does this apply for the online, or does the structure stay the same?
That is
Happy to take that one.
Yes, thank you, David.
There we go. So assessment points, because you are completing the same qualification, just in a different mode, the assessment points are the same. So if the contact students are expected to write a sit-down in-person test, the distance students will be writing a sit-down in-person test. As Tammy alluded to, I think her wording was evolving. So we are currently testing a fully online platform, but until we've tested and we're completely satisfied that it meets all the requirements, we wouldn't roll it out in full. So until that point in time, yes, if the contact students are writing sit down on campus, the same would be true for our distance students. And yes, as we leave the pandemic conditions increasingly behind, we are returning for many modules back to the sit-down format.
Thank you, David. Did you see? I was hesitating there because I was trying to see if you were still in the session to take that question. Right.
So we're going to go.
You just change the room.
Right. Okay, I see our participants are dropping as everyone is leaving. So yes, I think I'm hoping we've answered all the questions, and again from the whole team, but I think especially from Tsecho and I, thank you for joining us in the School of Management. And yes, as she said, we are looking forward to seeing you guys pop up next year and getting to know you.
Definitely. Can I stop recording, or do you want to keep it on for a bit?
I think we can stop recording. Yeah.
Okay.